In a world overflowing with noise, distractions, and information designed to keep you in a state of constant confusion, there exists a deeper layer, hidden narrative that most people will never see. Tonight, you begin a journey into the forbidden truth, a truth that, for decades, has been intentionally buried, suppressed, and locked behind doors guarded by silence. But here, on this channel, we are breaking those doors wide open. As you watch this video, be aware, nothing in the world is as simple as it seems. Events that appear random often follow carefully constructed patterns. Decisions that appear harmless are sometimes part of much larger and darker intentions. And the stories you think you understand may actually be fragments of a much bigger truth, one that was never meant for public eyes. The forbidden truth does not reveal itself all at once. It comes in pieces, like shards of a shattered mirror scattered across time. Each shard reflects a part of the world's hidden structure, organizations that operate from the shadows, historical events rewritten to hide the real motivations, and powerful individuals who shape society, not from public offices, but from secret meetings and coded communications. The deeper you go, the more you understand that everything is connected, not by coincidence, but by design. In this first chapter, we will explore the foundation of this hidden network. We will uncover the origins of concealed agendas, examine the symbols that appear innocently across society, and expose the mechanisms that keep the truth fragmented. Pay close attention, because every detail matters. Every symbol, every timeline, every unexplained coincidence contributes to a revelation that has been quietly building for decades. Imagine an invisible structure surrounding you, shaped not by governments, but by entities far older, far more patient, and far more calculated. These groups thrive in secrecy, using hidden channels of influence. They manipulate culture, control narratives, and plant ideas in plain sight, knowing that most people will never question them. Their greatest power is invisibility. Their greatest weapon is your distraction. Throughout history, countless individuals attempted to expose pieces of their blueprint. Some were ignored, some were silenced, others disappeared from public records altogether. But their warnings, their symbols, and their cryptic messages still echo beneath the surface of society, waiting for someone willing to look deeper. That someone is you, right now, in this moment. As this video unfolds, allow yourself to question the familiar. Challenge what you have always accepted. Look at the world with a new lens, one that recognizes manipulation, hidden motives, and the quiet orchestration behind global events. The forbidden truth is not just a story, it is a map, a structure, a code that reveals itself only to those willing to open their minds beyond the boundaries imposed on them. And as you absorb each piece, remember this: awakening is uncomfortable. It requires stepping into the unknown, confronting the shadows, and accepting that the world may be very different from what you were taught. But it is only through awakening that you gain the power to see the moves happening behind the curtain. This channel exists for one purpose: to illuminate the hidden. Every video you watch here brings you closer to the truth that was denied to you, a truth that has the potential to change how you view governments, corporations, historical events, the media, and the individuals who stand at the top of global influence. You are no longer just a viewer. You are part of a growing community, searching for clarity in a world built on controlled confusion. Before we continue, take a moment to engage with this mission. Like this video so the message reaches more people. Leave a comment sharing your thoughts or theories. It helps amplify the truth. And most importantly, subscribe. Your subscription is not just a click, it's a signal that you are ready to explore the parts of the world hidden from the masses. As Chapter 1 comes to an end, understand this: the forbidden truth is only beginning to surface. What you have heard so far is merely the opening of a door. The next chapters will take you deeper into the mechanisms, symbols, timelines, and entities that shaped the world you think you know. Prepare yourself. The shadows are waiting, and in the darkness, the real truth begins to speak. From the very beginning of human civilization, a structure has always existed behind the visible world, a hidden architecture, designed not for the many, but for the few. In this chapter, we dive deeper into that architecture, revealing how it operates, how it evolves, and how it continues to influence society without ever showing its face. Most people live their lives completely unaware of these unseen mechanisms. They wake up, go to work, consume the information placed in front of them, and then repeat the cycle. But behind the scenes, Powerful groups and hidden entities are coordinating the narratives that shape your beliefs, your fears, and even your perception of reality itself. This silent network thrives because it remains invisible, and the less people question it, the stronger it becomes. Picture the world as a vast, complex machine. On the surface you see politics, entertainment, news, culture, and technology. But beneath all that lies the core, the hidden architecture of control. This architecture is built on influence, secrecy, and psychological manipulation. Those who operate it don't need to show their faces. Their power comes from the ability to pull strings while remaining completely unknown. Throughout history, empires have risen and fallen, but one thing has remained constant: the existence of shadow networks. These networks were not governed by kings or presidents, but by select individuals who used coded languages, symbolic messaging, and strategic alliances to maintain their grip on society. Their methods evolved through time. What once required physical force is now accomplished with information, algorithms, and subtle conditioning. Today, this architecture is more sophisticated than ever before. It connects governments, corporations, intelligence agencies, financial institutions, media systems, and even cultural movements. This interconnected web influences global events in ways the average person never even notices. Wars, economic shifts, social trends, and ideological movements rarely emerge by accident. They often serve purposes that are hidden from public view. Symbols play a major role in this architecture. Ancient shapes, recurring patterns, and iconic imagery appear in logos, buildings, films, and political events. These symbols are not meaningless. They serve as markers, signals, or codes used by those who understand their significance. The repetition of these symbols across time and geography shows a continuity that cannot be dismissed as mere coincidence. They are the fingerprints of the hidden system. One of the most effective tools of this architecture is narrative control. By shaping the stories people hear through media, cultural icons, and digital platforms, the system ensures that only certain truths are allowed to surface. Information is filtered, redirected, or buried, and when someone tries to reveal too much, they are discredited, silenced, or pushed into obscurity. Control the narrative, and you control perception. Control perception, and you control society. But here's the paradox: the system hides in plain sight. It uses the very mechanisms we trust to conceal its influence. People assume they are receiving unbiased information, while in reality, they are consuming carefully curated content designed to maintain the illusion of freedom. And because the architecture never reveals itself directly, most people remain oblivious to how deeply it shapes their lives. In this chapter, as you listen to these words and watch these images unfold, consider how often you've sensed that something about the world felt off. Those moments when events seemed too perfectly timed, too coordinated, too convenient. Those moments are the cracks in the facade, the places where the hidden architecture becomes visible for those who are willing to look. You are now part of a growing movement of individuals who refuse to accept surface-level explanations. By watching this video, you're stepping outside the boundaries that the architecture sets for ordinary people. This act alone disrupts the system, because questioning is the very first step toward understanding. Before we go deeper into the layers of this hidden network, take a moment to support this mission. Like this video so more people can discover the truth. Leave a comment with your thoughts. Your engagement helps spread awareness, and subscribe, because each chapter reveals more of the structure that has shaped your reality without your knowledge. The next chapter will take you further into the strategies, patterns, and historical events that reveal the true reach of this architecture. Prepare yourself. The deeper we go, the more undeniable the truth becomes. Throughout history, those who control societies have relied on one powerful tactic: patterns hidden in plain sight. These patterns silently guide events, influence decisions, and shape the world behind the scenes. Most people never notice them, not because they are invisible, but because they are distracted, overwhelmed, and conditioned to ignore what doesn't fit into their daily routine. In this chapter, you will begin to see the world through a different lens, a lens that reveals the recurring shapes, strategies, and cycles that powerful forces repeat across time. Once you see these patterns, you cannot unsee them. They will follow you. They will change how you interpret every news story, every political event, every cultural trend, and every shift in global power. The first pattern is the cycle of manufactured crises. Time and time again, humanity experiences sudden events that generate fear, confusion, and dependency. These crises often appear random, but when you step back and examine them through a wider historical timeline, you notice a disturbing rhythm. Chaos emerges, fear rises, control tightens, and new rules are imposed. Once society adapts to these new rules, everything quiets down until the next cycle begins. The pattern never stops. Another pattern is symbolic repetition. Ancient symbols appear in modern institutions, logos, architecture, and televised events. Why do the same shapes from ancient civilizations, triangles, eyes, serpents, suns, spirals, continue to appear in the imagery of global organizations, tech companies, entertainment corporations, and government agencies? Is it coincidence? Or is it continuity? These symbols act like signatures left by those who understand their meaning. To the average person, they are decorative, but to those in the shadows, they are communication tools. A silent language, a signal that the pattern continues. Then we have the pattern of controlled narratives. When a story emerges that threatens the system, notice how quickly the narrative shifts. Notice how instantly the media unites around a single message. Notice how dissenting voices are labeled, silenced, or ridiculed. This too is a pattern, repeated indefinitely. Control the story, shape the perception, maintain the illusion. The next pattern is the rise and fall of scapegoats. Throughout time, when the system becomes unstable, a new enemy is introduced, sometimes a nation, sometimes a person, sometimes an ideology. This enemy becomes the focus of fear, anger, and division. While society fights itself, the hidden architecture strengthens its foundation. The scapegoat disappears, the real agenda moves forward, and the pattern resets. But perhaps the most important pattern is the timing. Look closely at history. Notice how major global shifts often occur at moments of distraction during holidays, sporting events, celebrity scandals, technological releases, or economic announcements. These distractions are not random, they are strategic. They redirect attention while the real decisions happen where no one is looking. Each of these patterns is powerful on its own, but when combined, they create something far more dangerous, a system of influence that operates without resistance because it operates without detection. Now, imagine what happens when millions of people begin to recognize these patterns. Imagine what happens when you connect the dots and realize that events, separated by decades or even centuries, follow the same structure, the same symbolism, the same manipulation techniques. At that moment, the illusion cracks. You are now reaching that moment. As these patterns become visible to you, your understanding of the world will shift permanently. You will notice connections in daily life news stories that fit old strategies, symbols you've seen before, decisions that align too perfectly with the hidden architecture described in previous chapters. This awareness is not an accident. It is the purpose of this series, to make visible what was intentionally concealed. But remember, recognizing the pattern is only the beginning. The system depends on silence. It depends on people seeing pieces but never connecting them. By understanding the structure behind these recurring events, you are taking the first step toward breaking its influence. Knowledge itself is resistance. Before we continue, take a moment to support this channel. Like this video so the algorithm exposes these truths to more people. Comment your thoughts. Every comment strengthens the message and increases visibility. And subscribe, because each new chapter reveals deeper, more complex patterns that explain how the world truly works. The next chapter will take you into the mechanisms used to guide societies without their awareness. If the patterns shocked you, the next revelation will unsettle you even more. Prepare yourself. The deeper we go, the less the world will ever look the same. What controls the world is not what you see. It is what you don't see. Not the people on television, not the leaders giving speeches, not the faces printed in newspapers. The real influence comes from invisible mechanisms, systems, so deeply embedded into society that most people live their entire lives without ever noticing them. In this chapter, we expose those mechanisms. Once you understand them, you understand how reality itself is shaped. The first invisible mechanism is information flow control. You might believe you have access to unlimited information, but in truth, what you see is carefully filtered. Search engines, news agencies, entertainment platforms, and social networks all function as gatekeepers. They decide what stories arise, what stories disappear, what ideas trend, and what ideas are buried. Control information, and you control what people believe is possible, real, and important. The second invisible mechanism is manufactured consensus. Most people form their beliefs not from experience, but from repetition. If an idea is repeated enough times, regardless of whether it is true, it becomes accepted as fact. This repetition is intentionally orchestrated. Coordinated headlines, synchronized messages, and unified narratives give the impression that everyone agrees. But what looks like collective agreement is often a pre-designed script. The third mechanism is psychological conditioning. Subtle cues in culture shape behavior. Music, colors, symbols, digital interfaces, marketing strategies, and even the pacing of content are engineered to influence emotions and decisions. The goal is simple: keep people distracted, divided, overwhelmed, or entertained. A distracted population questions nothing. A divided population unites against nothing. An overwhelmed population follows instructions. An entertained population never looks deeper. The fourth invisible mechanism is economic steering. Prices rise, markets crash, opportunities appear, jobs vanish, and currencies shift. Yet most of these changes trace back to decisions made behind closed doors by individuals who never appear on television. These choices affect entire nations, but are disguised as natural economic cycles. In reality, they are tools for shaping behavior, influencing governments, and expanding control. The fifth mechanism is algorithmic influence. Modern technology doesn't just show you content, it predicts what you want, redirects your attention, and shapes your decisions. Algorithms determine what you fear, what you desire, what you think is popular, and what you believe is true. They create invisible boundaries around your perception, guiding your mind without ever revealing that you are being guided. The sixth mechanism is symbolic reinforcement. Symbols are placed throughout society, not simply as decoration, but as anchors for psychological influence. Buildings, brands, global events, political ceremonies, entertainment industries all use symbols linked to deeper meanings understood only by those within the hidden architecture. These symbols act like silent instructions, shaping culture and reinforcing power structures across generations. The seventh mechanism is controlled opposition. When people begin to question the system creates its own groups, leaders, or narratives designed to capture that dissent. This gives people the illusion of rebellion, while ensuring the real structure remains untouched. Controlled opposition exists to absorb resistance before it becomes dangerous. It is one of the most effective tools in preserving hidden power. Every invisible mechanism works together not through chaos, but through choreography. Each piece interacts with the next, forming a structure that guides society without requiring force. People believe they are making independent choices, when in reality, those choices were shaped long before they were aware of them. But here is the most disturbing truth. The mechanisms work best when they are denied, when people claim they are too smart to be influenced, when they assume they are immune to manipulation. That confidence is the final mechanism: self-deception. The system depends on it. Without self-deception, the entire architecture collapses. As these realities sink in, you may feel the world shifting around you. You may sense a discomfort or cracking of the illusion. This is the beginning of awareness. Once you see the invisible mechanisms, they lose power. Recognition breaks the spell. Before moving to the next chapter, take a moment to strengthen this mission. Like this video so it reaches more people seeking truth. Comment your thoughts, your voice disrupts the system. And subscribe, because awareness is a journey, and the next chapters will take you even deeper. We are only beginning to uncover what lies beneath the surface. The unseen framework of control becomes clearer with every revelation. And in the next chapter, we expose how these mechanisms merge into one sophisticated system designed to guide humanity without ever being seen. Prepare yourself. The illusion is thinning, and the truth is emerging. Every hidden mechanism we've explored so far, information control, manufactured consensus, psychological conditioning, symbolic messaging, algorithmic manipulation, and controlled opposition, operates independently. But the real power of the system emerges when these mechanisms converge into a unified structure. In this chapter, we reveal how these separate components merge into one coordinated force, a silent system that shapes the entire direction of society. Imagine each mechanism as a gear. Alone, a gear can move, but its impact is limited. However, when all the gears interlock, they form a machine. A machine that never stops. A machine designed not to be seen, only felt. This is the hidden convergence. The first point of convergence is global narrative synchronization. Notice how major world events, no matter where they occur, are interpreted through nearly identical storylines across different nations, languages, and media outlets. This level of uniformity isn't natural. It requires coordination. It requires an unseen command structure capable of shaping global perception in real time. When all platforms deliver the same story, dissent becomes nearly impossible. The second convergence point is economic alignment. Financial institutions, corporations, and political leaders often move in perfect harmony, responding to crises with the same solutions, regulations, or agendas. This synchronized behavior creates the illusion of independent decision-making, when in reality, it follows a blueprint designed long before the public becomes aware of it. The economic system behaves like a single organism, reacting, adapting, and evolving according to invisible instructions. The third convergence point is cultural steering. Across music, film, technology, fashion, and social movements, similar themes emerge simultaneously around the world. A phrase appears, a trend explodes, a belief spreads. These cultural waves look spontaneous, but their timing is too perfect. Their reach too immediate, their adoption too universal to be organic. They are guided currents, not random tides. The fourth convergence point is technological centralization. As technology evolves, more of human life becomes dependent on a small number of platforms, devices, and systems. Communication, banking, entertainment, education, travel, identity verification all are controlled by interconnected networks managed by the same handful of entities. This centralization gives unprecedented power to the hidden architecture operating behind the scenes. The fifth convergence point is behavioral prediction. With access to data from billions of people, the system can anticipate responses, fears, desires, and reactions with incredible accuracy. This predictive ability allows the architecture to shape outcomes before they happen. It becomes possible to influence behavior not through force, but through subtle nudges, content suggestions, emotional triggers, algorithmic pathways, and psychological cues. The sixth convergence point is global dependency. As individuals, organizations, and governments rely on interconnected systems, they become dependent on the architecture that controls those systems. This dependency ensures compliance. When the world relies on a single structure for information, money, mobility, or communication, that structure gains silent authority over everything that happens within it. And the seventh convergence point, the most important of all, is strategic distraction. The more the system unifies, the more distraction increases. Entertainment reaches new intensities, outrage cycles accelerate, scandals multiply. Attention is fractured into smaller and smaller pieces. While the world focuses on noise, the architecture strengthens its foundation. When all of these convergences occur simultaneously, society becomes predictable, manageable, and guidable. People believe they are making independent choices, but those choices were subtly shaped by a machine they cannot see. Every influence is gentle, every pressure is quiet, every shift is invisible. And that invisibility is what makes the machine unstoppable. But here's what they fear: awareness, recognition, people who start connecting the dots. Once you understand the convergence, you begin to see the machine everywhere, in news cycles, in political timing, in cultural trends, in technological updates, in global events that feel too synchronized to be coincidence. The illusion of randomness fades. The controlled design becomes clear. This chapter marks an important point in your awakening. You are no longer observing isolated events. You are seeing the structure behind them. And once you see the structure, you can no longer fall back asleep. Before we move to the next chapter, strengthen this movement. Like this video so the truth reaches more people. Comment your thoughts, your voice disrupts the silence, and subscribe, because the next chapter pulls the curtain even further back. The architecture is becoming visible, the convergence is real, and in the next chapter, we reveal who benefits most from this hidden machine. Prepare yourself. The deeper we go, the clearer the truth becomes. Chapter 6: the celebrity veil. Behind every shining celebrity image, behind every dazzling smile on the red carpet, lies a carefully managed illusion. We see the talent, the charisma, the seemingly effortless rise to the top. But what if I told you that fame isn't just built on talent? What if it's something else entirely, something engineered? It's a grand performance, shaped, molded, and meticulously constructed by powerful, unseen forces, organizations that decide who rises to the heavens of stardom and who is quietly erased from the picture. Imagine those red carpets, but see beyond the flashbulbs. Look closer. In the shadows cast by the blinding lights, faint figures are pulling the strings. They aren't holding cameras, they're aiming them. They aren't adjusting lights. They're controlling the very spotlight of public perception. They hold the contracts, the scripts, the narratives. This isn't a stage for the talented to shine. It's an audition where the chosen are granted a place in the sky. Fame, in this world, isn't earned, it's awarded. And the price of admission is often more than anyone bargains for. Think of the contract, not a simple document of paper and ink, but something more. Visualize it, glowing with a faint, otherworldly light in a dark, empty room. The text is unreadable, a mysterious script of obligations and clauses that no one can decipher. The pages turn on their own, a silent, relentless progression, as if bound by an invisible hand. The lights in the room flicker, struggling to stay on, as if the very presence of this agreement drains the energy from its surroundings. This is the silent pact, the unseen agreement made in the shadows. Every meteoric rise, every overnight sensation, is tethered to one of these. It speaks of hidden pressures, unspoken compromises, and a debt that can never truly be repaid. Now, let's pull back the curtain on the lifestyle they sell us. We see the luxurious mansions with their infinity pools, reflecting a perfect sky. We see the sleek limousines gliding through city streets. We see the glittering award shows where golden statues are handed out like party favors. But look again, something is off. The reflection in the pool is distorted, rippling with an unnatural unease. The city lights viewed from the limousine window are blurred, surreal, as if seen through a funhouse mirror. The cheers at the awards show sound hollow, echoing in a space that feels too large, too empty. Nothing is as perfect as it seems. It's a beautiful lie, a gilded cage presented as a paradise, and at the heart of this illusion is the mask. The industry doesn't just create stars, it creates identities. Picture a collection of masks, not on faces, but hanging in a void. Some are frozen in a perpetual, gleaming smile. Others are etched with trails of silent, painted tears. None of them look entirely human. They are caricatures of emotion, perfected and polished for public consumption. A celebrity reaches out, their hand trembling slightly, and selects one. As they place it over their face, their true features disappear. The public sees the mask, the polished facade, the character. They never see the person underneath. That person is the first sacrifice. Imagine a star, the one everyone adores, sitting alone in a dim, silent dressing room. The roar of the crowd is a muffled hum outside the door, punctuated by the relentless, blinding flash of cameras trying to peek through the cracks. But inside, there is only stillness. The figure doesn't move, doesn't react. They stare at their own reflection in the mirror. But who are they really looking at? The person they were, or the product they've become? In the ruthless pursuit of fame, authenticity isn't just a casualty, it becomes optional, a luxury that can no longer be afforded, and in its place, control becomes absolute. The machine owns the image, the name, and the story. The visuals get darker now. We're moving from the stage to the back room. We see stacks of documents bound in leather, their contents hidden. We see hushed, secret meetings in smoke-filled rooms where fates are decided over a handshake. We see heavy, ornate doors closing, one after another, shutting out the light, sealing secrets within. You can feel the weight of it all, the immense pressure of the secrecy required to maintain the grand illusion. Every closed door is a question unanswered. Every shadow is a truth concealed. This is the architecture of control, built brick by brick in the darkness, far from the public eye. It's a world that operates on its own rules, a world where the truth is the most dangerous contraband. And then, the final act. We're back in the Grand Theater, looking at the empty stage. A single, golden spotlight illuminates the center, where a star once stood. For a moment, there's silence. And then, with a soft, definitive click, the spotlight extinguishes itself, not turned off by a technician, but dying on its own accord. The stage is plunged into darkness, empty and silent. The show is over. The applause has faded. All that's left is the void where the illusion used to be. Because in a world built on illusions, truth has no place on the stage. If you want the next chapter, subscribe now. Comment your thoughts below, and stay in the shadows with us. Chapter 7. Some messages are whispered, others are hidden in plain sight. Symbols of power have existed for centuries, and even today, they appear everywhere on stages. In music videos, in award shows, and inside the entertainment industry's biggest productions. Most people see only art, but the initiated see signals. These signs represent control, allegiance, and influence. They outlast empires and shape the world without being noticed. People think they are watching entertainment, but entertainment is often a language, written through imagery. Every symbol has a purpose. Some reveal, others conceal. Those who understand these signs know that nothing is accidental. For thousands of years, a silent language has been spoken right before our eyes. It's a language of power, a vocabulary of symbols that communicate messages far deeper than what we see on the surface. These aren't just random decorations or artistic choices. They are deliberate, ancient, and packed with meaning. Today, we're pulling back the curtain to explore how these hidden messages are embedded in our modern world, from the biggest stages to the most watched videos. You see them every day, but do you truly understand what you're looking at? You might see a triangle, an eye, a serpent, or a checkerboard pattern, and think nothing of it. Just a cool design, right? But what if I told you these symbols have been used for millennia by secret societies, royal dynasties, and elite groups to signify their influence and beliefs? Let's start with one of the most recognizable, the all-seeing eye. Often depicted within a pyramid, this symbol has roots in ancient Egypt as the Eye of Horus, representing protection, royal power, and good health. Over time, its meaning evolved. For groups like the Freemasons, it represents the great architect of the universe, a divine watchfulness over humanity. When you see this symbol flashed in a music video or incorporated into a celebrity's fashion, it's rarely just a random choice. It's a nod, a signal to those in the know. It communicates an awareness of a higher order, a connection to a lineage of power that operates behind the scenes. Think about it. Why does this one symbol persist across so many cultures and eras, from ancient carvings to the back of the US dollar bill and onto the stages of today's biggest pop stars? It's a constant reminder that we are being watched, but the real question is, by whom, and for what purpose? Next, let's look at the serpent or the snake. In many cultures, the snake is a symbol of evil, temptation, and deceit, thanks to its role in the Garden of Eden. But in others, it represents something entirely different. Think of the Ouroboros, the snake eating its own tail. This ancient symbol represents infinity, cycles of rebirth, and eternal life. In medical contexts, the rod of Asclepius, a snake coiled around a staff, symbolizes healing and medicine. So when an artist uses serpent imagery, what are they trying to say? Are they embracing a darker, more rebellious persona? Or are they tapping into a deeper, esoteric meaning of transformation and eternal knowledge? The duality of the serpent makes it a perfect tool for hidden communication. It allows for plausible deniability. To the mainstream audience, it's just edgy imagery. To the initiated, it's a clear declaration of allegiance to a certain philosophy or group that values hidden wisdom and cyclical power. Then we have the checkerboard floor, another staple of Masonic lodges and esoteric art. The black and white squares represent duality, light and darkness, good and evil, positive and negative. It symbolizes the floor of Solomon's temple and represents the human experience, walking the line between two opposing forces. When you see this pattern in a movie set, a music video, or at an awards show, it's not just the stylish flooring choice. It signifies that the space is a ritualistic one, a place where transformative events happen. It's a stage where the interplay of light and shadow is deliberately manipulated. The performers on that floor are not just entertainers, they are participants in a larger symbolic drama. They are moving between the worlds of the seen and the unseen, the mundane and the magical. And the checkerboard floor is the very foundation upon which this symbolic journey takes place. It's a sign that you have entered a liminal space, a zone where the normal rules don't apply. And what about masks? Masks have been used in rituals, theater, and ceremonies for all of human history. They conceal one's true identity, allowing the wearer to become someone or something else. In the entertainment industry, masks serve a similar but more profound purpose. They represent the public persona versus the private self. The flawless, perfect mask worn by a celebrity conceals the cracks and imperfections of the real person beneath, but it goes deeper. In symbolic rituals, putting on a mask is an act of transformation. It's about shedding the individual ego to channel a different energy or entity. When you see performers in masks, or using mask symbolism, it often points to the idea of controlled identities and hidden agendas. It asks the question, who is really behind the performance? Is it the artist we think we know, or is it a carefully constructed facade designed to push a specific message or ideology? The mask is the ultimate symbol of concealed truth. These symbols don't exist in a vacuum, they are often layered together, creating a complex tapestry of meaning. An artist might stand on a checkerboard floor, wearing a jacket with an all-seeing eye, while serpent-like dancers move around them. This isn't a coincidence. It's a symphony of symbols, each one reinforcing the others, creating a powerful, concentrated message of influence and control. These performances are modern-day rituals, broadcast to millions. The stage becomes an altar, the music becomes an incantation, and the audience, whether they realize it or not, becomes part of the ceremony. The energy of the cheering crowd is harnessed, directed towards a purpose defined by those who designed the ritual. They think they are just enjoying a concert, but they are participating in a large-scale energetic event. The connection to the past is undeniable. If you look at ancient texts, carvings from Egyptian tombs, medieval grimoires, or the architecture of secret societies, you will find the exact same symbols: the eye, the serpent, the twin pillars, the geometric patterns, they are all there. This demonstrates an unbroken lineage of knowledge, a golden thread of symbolic language passed down through generations of powerful groups. The symbols that adorned the robes of ancient priests now adorn the jackets of pop icons. The patterns carved into temple floors are now the set designs for primetime television. Why? Because symbols speak directly to our subconscious mind. They bypass our critical thinking and implant ideas and feelings without our awareness. They are a form of psychological programming, a way to shape culture and guide public consciousness without ever having to say a word. This isn't about a single, all-powerful group pulling every string. It's more complex than that. It's about a shared ideology, a common language of power used by various influential networks within the entertainment industry and beyond. They use these symbols to recognize each other, to assert their dominance, and to perpetuate a system of control that is hidden in plain sight. They know that as long as the masses see it as just entertainment, the real message will continue to be transmitted without interference. They are masters of distraction, using spectacle and celebrity to cover their tracks. But once your eyes are open to this language, you can never unsee it. Every movie, every music video, every awards show becomes a puzzle to be deciphered. You start to notice the subtle hand gestures, the specific colors being used, the numerology hidden in dates and times. It all connects. Nothing is accidental. Every detail is crafted with intent. The ultimate goal is to shape our perception of reality, to define for us what is good, what is desirable, what is powerful, and what is true. And by consuming this content uncritically, we are passively accepting their definitions. But knowledge is the first step to breaking free. By learning to read their symbolic language, we can begin to reclaim our own minds. We can choose what messages we accept and which ones we reject. The power they wield is based on our ignorance. The moment we become aware, their power diminishes. The shadows only exist when the light is dimmed. It's time to turn the lights on. If you're ready to uncover deeper truths, subscribe, comment your theories, and follow the next chapter. Thanks for watching. Fame. It glitters like gold. But behind the curtain, the price is far higher than most people could ever imagine. To the world, fame looks like a dream. But every dream has a cost. The industry builds idols, then demands pieces of their soul in return. The higher the rise, the deeper the binding of unseen agreements. Not everyone applauding is a fan. Some watch from the shadows, ensuring their investment continues to grow. Behind the lights, behind the fame, many lose themselves, piece by piece. Success becomes a cage, disguised as opportunity. Once inside the system, escape is nearly impossible, because in this world, nothing is free. Some pay with their identity, others with their peace, and a few with everything. But the truth still exists, for those brave enough to face it. If you want to uncover the unseen forces behind the entertainment world, like this video, comment your theories, and subscribe for the next chapter. Chapter 9: Behind the Fame, the Fortune, and the Global Spectacle. There exists a presence that almost no one sees. Some call them advisors, some call them handlers, others call them watchers. They observe everything without ever stepping into the spotlight. These are the architects of the industry, the silent forces shaping careers, trends, and global narratives. Most people think the entertainment world is chaotic, but behind the chaos, there is a structure, a system, a hierarchy. The watchers do not seek applause, they seek influence. Artists rise, but rarely alone. Guidance becomes control. Support becomes ownership. Every word, every look, every spontaneous moment is carefully crafted. They see everything. They correct everything. They direct everything. To join the highest levels of fame, one must often pass through those who guard the gates. Nothing is permanent except the control they maintain. The watchers are not artists. They are not creators. They are strategists, and the industry is their chessboard. If you think you're ready to confront the truth behind the curtain, like this video, subscribe, and comment what you believe the watchers truly are. The next chapter goes deeper. Chapter 10: We have followed the signs. We have uncovered the masks. We have traced the shadows behind the biggest stage on earth. And now, everything converges here. The truth has always been visible, yet carefully disguised. Power in the entertainment world is not a coincidence. It is a design. Every piece we explored is part of a single structure. Let's take a step back and connect the dots. Remember the contracts we examined, those seemingly harmless documents that bind artists for years, dictating every aspect of their careers and even their personal lives. We saw how the ink faded, turning into chains. These weren't just business deals. They were the first layer of control, the entry point into a system designed to extract value and enforce obedience. The promises of fame and fortune are the bait, but the reality is far more restrictive. The artists sign away not just their rights, but a piece of their autonomy, becoming assets in a much larger portfolio. Then we delved into the symbolism, the recurring motifs and imagery embedded in music videos, award shows, and album art. We traced the ancient symbols, the single eye, the pyramids, the esoteric geometry. Many dismissed this as artistic expression, but when the same symbols appear consistently across different artists, labels, and decades, it ceases to be a coincidence. It becomes a language, a subtle branding of ownership. This isn't just about aesthetics. It's about conditioning the audience, normalizing a specific set of ideas and allegiances right under our noses. It's a psychological operation on a global scale, where the artists are the messengers, often unknowingly. And who orchestrates this? We called them the watchers, the shadowy figures in the VIP boxes, the unseen executives behind tinted windows, the faceless board members whose names never make the headlines. These are the true architects of the industry. They don't seek the spotlight, they control it. We've shown how their influence extends far beyond music and movies, connecting to finance, technology, and politics. They are not just creating entertainment, they are shaping culture and manufacturing consent. Their power lies in their anonymity, allowing them to pull the strings without ever being held accountable. This entire ecosystem, this machine, runs on a very specific fuel. Your attention. Every click, every stream, every ticket sold is a vote of confidence, a transfer of energy. This machine feeds on attention, emotion, and the illusion of choice. The industry presents a seemingly endless variety of artists and genres, creating the impression of a diverse and open marketplace. But behind the curtain, it's a carefully curated selection. Artists who play the game are promoted, while those who deviate are sidelined or silenced. The illusion of choice keeps the audience engaged and compliant, never realizing that they are consuming products from the same handful of sources. The journey of an artist within this system is often a tragic one. Most enter believing they will control their destiny, only to discover they were chosen long before they arrived. They are scouted, molded, and packaged to fit a specific role. Their authenticity is sanded down, their image is manufactured, and their message is scripted. They become marionettes, dancing on strings held by unseen masters. The pressure to maintain the facade, to stay relevant, is immense. This leads to the burnout, the public breakdowns, and the mysterious early deaths that we've seen time and time again. They are sacrifices to the machine, cautionary tales for anyone else who might consider stepping out of line. But something is changing. The digital age, the very tool they've used to amplify their control, has also become their greatest weakness. Information spreads faster than ever before. People are waking up, connecting the patterns, and asking questions. Knowledge breaks cycles. The carefully constructed walls of secrecy are beginning to crumble. Every exposé, every leak, every brave whistleblower chipping away at the foundation of this empire of shadows proves that no secret can be kept forever. The light is starting to break through the cracks. The greatest fear of those in power is exposure, not just of their methods, but of their very existence. They thrive in the dark, in the ambiguity and plausible deniability. The symbols lose their mystique, the contracts are revealed as exploitative, and the watchers are just men and women behind a curtain, because once the illusion collapses, control weakens, the magic trick is revealed, and the audience is no longer captivated. They see the sleight of hand, the hidden mechanisms, and the deception at the core of the performance. You have now seen what lies beneath the stage. We've pieced together the evidence, from the symbolic to the contractual, from the artists to the architects. We have shown you the machine and how it operates. But this is only the beginning. What we have uncovered is just the antechamber, the public-facing level of this labyrinth. The deeper layers remain untouched, hidden in places we have not yet explored. We're talking about the encrypted files, the off-the-record meetings, the private islands, the secret societies that intersect with this world. If you want the truth, you must keep searching with us. The next phase of this investigation will take us into even darker territory. We'll be looking at the financial networks that fund this machine, the technological surveillance used to monitor artists and audiences, and the historical roots of these power structures that go back centuries. It's a massive undertaking, and we can't do it without you. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment your theories below, and join us for the next investigations. Your support decides how deep we go. Every subscription, every share, every comment adds to the momentum and shows that people are ready for the truth. Let them know we are watching. The curtain may close, but the shadows remain.